Hello, I'm Julie. Welcome to Pace Leatherworks YouTube channel. I'd like to extend a personal invitation for you to get out your leatherworking tools and join along with the video. Let me show you what I got going on over here. Okay, so I started out with a couple of pieces of scrap leather here. This one I cut about 10.5 inches long and I made it about 1.25 inches wide. I found that this was a little too wide for what I wanted. I wanted something a little more delicate since this piece has a flower on it. So I wound up cutting it, trimming it up to only 3/4 of an inch wide. Just cut that bit off. And there we go. Again, I thought it was too wide. All right, the black piece, I'm cutting it 1/2 inch wide. Just trimming this up so it will fit on the brown piece. And there you go. The flower, I wanted the flower to hang over the black a little bit to add a little more depth, give it a little bit more character. I eyeballed the center here. I just laid the flower in the center and I'm using a needle here just to poke the holes. I'm using the 2-prong Weaver 4mm stitching chisel here. I'm lining the flower up with the hole I just made. And I'm using a needle here and mark my next hole. Again with the 2-prong stitching chisel. Give it a couple whacks. Good to go. Now I'm placing it on top of the brown. I'm eyeballing the center here. I want it to look appealing, and I'm poking just straight through the holes that I previously made. Right through there. And 2 more. Now I'm pulling out the thread. I don't even bother putting another needle on here. I'm just using 1 needle. I'm going through the brown, then go through the black, and then sew on the flower. I loop it through 4 times. So up 1. Don't forget the flower. And start stitching. Make sure to pull it tight. Up again and down. Pulling it tight. I don't want that flower going anywhere. I really want this stitched on well in case the flower gets caught on a piece of clothing or something. Cut this thread really close to the leather and then melt the tips. I find most people use a Bic lighter. I use a fireplace lighter because I've melted my nails before using a Bic lighter. Here we go, going on the other side here. Up, down. Just pulling that through, making sure it's tight with each pass. I don't want any loose thread here. I really don't want a loose loop. I don't want it getting caught on anything. Cut it close. And melt those tips. Press them down. Good to go. I'm marking the tips of where I'm going to cut the ends off. This black piece will wind up being exactly 5 inches long. And pull out my half round punches here. This one is a 15mm half round punch. Give it a couple whacks. Take that off. Over here, same thing. I marked it. I just put a little bitty hole with a needle so I know exactly where to put the punch. Looks good. Here I'm picking out the snaps. I want them to match the flower, and thankfully I have some snaps that match the flower perfectly. These are the antique brass looking snaps. These snaps are exactly 7 inches apart. That's what goes around my wrist. A lot of people have bigger wrists. There we go, just punching this hole. And this kit that I purchased, it has instructions on how to do this, how to set these snaps. So I just want to put the holes in here and then put the snaps through, but I'm not going to set them just yet. I'm just eyeballing the half round punches here. I want it to look appealing. I want it to have enough material past the snap that it's easy to grab hold of the snap and rip it off. And now set this snap. It's ready to go. Put that through, set it on there, and again, I'm just eyeballing this. I want it to look good. Pull that off. Set the other snap. Make sure they're going the right direction. Now we're going to secure the black part to the brown part here. Again, this is the 2-prong 4mm weaver stitching chisel. I'm making the hole that goes into the brown part. I'm making it as close to the black piece of leather as I can. Another needle, some more thread. I like the contrast of the tan and the black here. Just go ahead and thread the needle. I don't bother with another one. Again, I'm just looping around. I do this 4 times. So up one, and then it'll be down one. Pull it tight. Up two. Just do that over and over until I made 4 loops. Pull it tight. Cut the thread and melt the tips. Squish those down. Smooth as can be. Looks good. Now for the other side. Same process. The holes are already punched, so I can immediately start threading this through. I do it just like the other side. One up, one down. Two up. Pull it tight. And 2 down. Pulling it. 3 up. 3 down. 4 up. And 4 down. Time to cut it off and melt the thread. Alright, so this next part, I really need to put the bracelet on so I can make sure that it's lined up the way I want it. This is going to be a piece of thread that's going to look like rope. It's just wrapped around the black part, stitched through the brown part. Each side is about 1 inch off center. Now again, I'm not poking holes through the black. I'm only punching through the brown. And it wraps around the black. This is a single hole punch. And start stitching. Now I stitched this 3 times around. Cut it short. Push it down. Now for the other side. I want to make sure that the thread is pulled tight. I really don't want any loose loops. I don't want it to catch on anything. Here we go. Last cut. Cut that off. Melt the tips. And then after looking at it, I decided to go back and melt the entire section here on both sides just to make one solid piece of thread there, just so it's more sturdy. There you have it. It's a finished bracelet. In the next video, I'll show you how to make this mushroom keychain. I'll see you then. Bye.